We all have times when we disagree and have to work hard to get things done. It feels like the whole world is pressing down on us at times like these, and darkness falls over us. It's important to remember that we are not alone during these storms, though. On our journey, that's why we put together this video of wise, comforting and inspiring words and lessons to help you on your fight against anger. These words are meant to soothe the soul and tell you that hard times are short-lived and that your strength is inside you, ready to be woken up. People who are going through hard times, having arguments, or just need a little extra help in their lives can find support, inspiration, and hope in these lessons. Make sure you listen all the way through and don't miss any important ideas, because one of them might be the key that changes your life for good. Together, we can turn the dark into the light and find the strength to keep going. Let's start. Acceptance and comprehension are the first. The best things that can help you get mental control and inner peace are acceptance and understanding. When did you last feel like you had too much anger? Have you ever let that feeling take over and pull you along? Do not worry. Being angry is a normal feeling that is as human as your breath. Seneca said, "Anger, like lust, feeds on its own energy. If it's just a flare-up, it won't last long." The first step toward freedom is to see it for what it is. Think about this. You're stressed out and stuck in traffic when someone cuts you off. You feel like you're going to blow up because you're so angry. Your hands get tighter on the driving wheel. But why are they so angry? Is it because of the careless driver, or is there something else? Maybe the stress that built up during the day, or the feeling that you don't have any control over your time. Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the opinions they have about them." Figuring out why you're angry is like turning on a light in a dark room. It helps you see deeper and find out what's really making you feel that way. You have control over your anger when you realize that it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Now the question is what you do with your anger. Do you let it ruin your day and your relationships, or do you take responsibility for how you feel? Taking responsibility is like putting on armor that keeps you safe from the outside world. Realizing that you have control over how you respond to things gives you power. You have the power to be in charge of your life or a slave to your feelings. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't worry about other people, worry about yourself, and you will live a good life." But what makes magic happen is caring about other people as well as yourself. If you were the one who cut you off in traffic, how would you feel? You might also be rushed, stressed, and confused. Developing empathy is like letting people understand and connect with you. It helps you look past your own problems and see the humanity in other people. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't expect events to happen the way you want them to. Accept events as they happen, and you will be happy." Again, remember to be kind to yourself when you're angry or when you think everyone is out to get you. Forgive yourself for being angry, but also allow yourself to feel that way. As Epictetus said, "First tell yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." You are human, which means you are flawed and always changing. Self-compassion is the medicine that heals mental scars and lets you be kind to yourself going forward. 2. What you see and how you see it. Have you ever found yourself in an uncomfortable situation? Have you ever felt like your chest was on fire with anger, your mind was foggy, and you lost control? Anger is a strong feeling that can take over your life if you don't learn how to control it. Would you believe me if I told you there are ways to deal with it and make it into something good? Prepare to learn how shifting your thoughts and feelings can help you control your anger and achieve the inner tranquility you seek. First, question your thoughts and opinions. Are you sure that the way you see the situation that makes you angry is the right way to see it? A lot of the time, your anger comes from wrong or unfair assumptions. Let's say you are in line at the shopping store and someone pushes you in a rude way. Your first thought might be to get mad and talk to them about it. But what if you think they might be busy because they need to get to work and take care of a sick family member right away? By asking yourself why you think the way you do, you can see things with more kindness and less haste. Next, look at what happened in a bigger, more objective way. Instead of focusing on how angry and upset you are, try to take a mental step back and see the situation more objectively. Imagine that you are not involved in the situation and are just watching the big picture. What do you see? What other things could be making the problem worse? If you look at things from different angles, you might find more peaceful and helpful answers. Always keep in mind that feelings, including anger, change over time. Even if you're furious right now, that feeling will go away soon. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "True wisdom lies in recognizing that anger is like a storm that passes, leaving behind clarity and calm." Realizing that feelings are temporary helps you let them go when you need to. Being thankful can help you calm down when you're angry. Think about what you have and what makes you happy every day, instead of what you don't have or what bothers you. Take a moment to think about all the good things that happen to you. Having a better mood and not getting angry will help you do this. Finally, get used to not caring about the results. Most of the time, you get angry when things don't go the way you want or expect them to. But you really do have everything under your control. You have to learn to accept that some things are out of your control and that what counts is how you react to them. You can free yourself from the weight of expectations and become more flexible and strong by taking a detached stance. Epictetus said, "True wisdom is realizing that anger is like a storm that passes, leaving calm and clarity behind it." So why not choose peace over chaos? You are in charge of making the choice. 3. Controlling your emotions. Do you want to be in control of your feelings and experience unwavering inner peace? But how do you do it? Don't worry. Here are the most important things you need to change how you feel. To begin, learn how to control your breathing. Yes, breathing can help you the most when you're having a bad day. Imagine that you are in the middle of a heated fight. Your feelings are running high and you can't think straight. But don't let the storm take yourself away. Focus on your breaths. Take a deep breath in and let the air fill your lungs. Then slowly let out your breath, letting go of all the stress that has been building up. If you do this several times, you will notice that your mind and feelings become more stable. That's not all, though. Being mindful is another strong mental tool you can use. The mindfulness technique gives you the clarity you need to handle your feelings well by allowing you to watch them without judging them. Are you mad at yourself? Do not get caught up in it. Instead, just watch it. Know how it shows up in your mind and body, but don't connect with it. Don't forget that your feelings are not you, and you can choose how to deal with them. Have you thought about visualization? It's a powerful way to change how you feel. Are you feeling scared or anxious all the time? Close your eyes and picture a peaceful place. You can picture yourself in a lovely setting where there is tranquility and peace. Take a deeper breath each time you think about this picture. This will help your body and mind rest. There will be a split second when your mood changes. How should you act when you're about to lose your cool? That's where the power of think negatively comes in. When you find yourself in an angry position next, take a moment to think about what you're thinking. Should you really be mad about this? What would be the point of reacting without thinking? You can control your anger and make better, more balanced choices if you question your angry thoughts with logic and reason. Last but not least, work on being patient, which is one of the most important Stoic virtues. Remember what Epictetus said, "Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet." Being patient helps you stay calm when things go wrong, trusting that the right time to move will come. So, instead of giving in to anger and impatience, make waiting your best friend on the path to emotional control. Emotional control is not a goal that you reach at the end of your trip. It is a process of learning about yourself and growing as a person. You can become the undeniable master of your feelings with practice and commitment by learning to control your breathing, practicing mindfulness, using visualization, using negative thinking, and developing patience. You have the power, so go ahead. Take care of your inner life and make it a calm and peaceful place. 4. Being able to change and adapt. As you go through life, things change all the time, like a big river that never stops moving. How do you deal with this current that won't stop? The answer lies in your ability to shift and be flexible, which are two very important traits for getting through the rough seas of change. First, you have to accept the most basic truth about life. Everything changes. Everything flows, nothing remains, as the Greek philosopher Heraclitus put it. This Stoic principle tells you to realize that change is a general law and that fighting it will only make you suffer. Accept that things are always changing and learn to ride the waves of that change. You see being able to shift as being like a surfboard in this sea of change. Like a chameleon that fits in with its surroundings, it's about learning how to adapt to different situations. Let's say you're at work, and all of a sudden you're given a job that is very different from what you're used to. Don't freak out. Instead, take a deep breath and change how you do things, the skills you use, and how you think about things so you can face this new task with determination and confidence. But being adaptable isn't enough. You also need to work on being mentally flexible, which means being able to think outside the box and come up with creative ways to get around any problem that comes up. In your daily life, do you find yourself in a rut? Don't keep going in loops. Try something new. Look at things from different points of view and be open to new ideas. The power to live a full and meaningful life lies in the human mind and its ability to constantly shape and reshape its perceptions of the world around it. Obstacles, far from being insurmountable barriers, are actually opportunities for growth and development. Do not curse an obstacle that stands in your way. Instead, accept it with thankfulness and ask yourself what you can learn from it. What can you do to get stronger through this? To be calm when things go wrong, you need to work on the Stoic virtue of apatheia, which means inner peace. This doesn't mean hiding your feelings. It means learning how to handle them in a smart and balanced way. When bad things happen, take a moment to breathe deeply. Notice your feelings and thoughts without connecting with them, and look for calm inside yourself, like a haven in the middle of a storm. Being adaptable and flexible will help you the most on your journey through life. Accept change with courage. Change how you do things with mental flexibility. See problems as chances to grow and find peace in the middle of trouble. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said that the key to being strong in hard times is not to avoid the blow, but to learn how to dance with it. 5. Self-control and following the rules. One essential component, self-control and discipline, stands out like a light in the vast world. You can think of your life as a ship on the high seas. If you don't have the steady direction of self-control, you'll be swept along by the waves of your desires, and if you don't have the sail of discipline, you'll be swept along mindlessly. If you want to become the best version of yourself, don't worry. You can control yourself like a skilled and determined captain on this trip. Epictetus said that complete control over oneself is what freedom really means. Self-control is essential for gaining control over your urges. Do you frequently find that yourself gives in to the urge to postpone your tasks in favor of getting something right away? It's time to fight that urge and develop habits that will give you more self-control. For instance, make a plan for when you will work or study and promise to stick to it, even if you feel like giving up or getting distracted. You gain strength in your will with each small victory over putting things off, which brings you one step closer to having complete control over your actions. Seneca said that beating yourself is the best success of all. Let's talk about how we feel now. Have you ever been so angry that you said or did things you later felt bad about? Having emotional self-control helps you find your way through the rough seas of your thoughts. A few ways to stay cool during times of worry are deep breathing and visualizing. Let's say you're having a heated fight with a close friend or family member. Do not let your anger get the best of you. Instead, take a deep breath and picture a calm lake. This way, you can answer with more thought instead of acting on impulse, which helps you develop the virtue of mental self-control. Epictetus taught us that a man who is in charge of himself is the best. Now, let's talk about relationships between people. Setting healthy limits is important for keeping the peace and avoiding arguments. Because you didn't establish clear limits from the start, have you ever found yourself in a position where you felt overwhelmed? It's important to learn how to say no in a strong way. For instance, if a friend asks you to do something that you know will cause you stress or get in the way of your other goals, don't be afraid to politely, but definitely set your limits. Stoic said, "You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it." Let that sink in. To protect your time, energy, and mental health, you give yourself the power to set good limits. Whoever can't follow himself will be told what to do, as Epictetus said. Finally, if you want to find inner peace, you need to work on developing the virtue of self-control. Are you aware that your wants and needs control your life instead of you managing them? Moderation is important in every part of your life, from food to work to fun. For example, instead of giving in to the urge to eat too much, choose a healthy amount and fully enjoy every bite. You will feel free and calm when you master your wants and habits. This is something that can only happen when you master yourself. To quote Seneca, "No pleasure is comparable to the tranquility of self-mastery." Having self-control and following through with your plans are the building blocks of a better, more important life. You can start a journey of self-discovery and personal growth by being self-disciplined, controlling your urges, setting healthy limits, saying no in a strong way, and working on your self-control. Just remember what Epictetus said. It's not what happens to you that counts, but how you handle it. Go ahead and take care of your life. You can become the best version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius said that you are happy when your thoughts, words, and actions all match up. Seventh, strength and resilience. Your inner strength will be put to the test many times over in life. Seneca said that the key to being truly great is to deal with trouble as if you were safe. A useful virtue that will help you get past any challenge in your path is resilience, which is the capacity to quickly get over your anger, face losses with determination, and see them as chances to grow and become stronger. Imagine that you are working on a big project for work when all of a sudden the machine that is supposed to give you the information you need breaks down, which slows down the whole process. You can either give in to your anger and rage at that moment, or you can choose to build resolve and face the task with fire. Marcus Aurelius once said that anger and rage cannot calm each other down. Instead of letting the situation overtake yourself, you can see it as a chance to show how strong your mind is and come up with original ways to solve the issue. When things go wrong, self-discipline is very important. When things get hard, it's easy to want to give up or find reasons not to face them. Self-discipline, on the other hand, helps you stay focused on your goals and do what you need to do to get past any challenges that come up. The Stoics teach us that virtue is the only fate, and indeed, Developing the virtue of resiliency gives you an inner strength that no external situation can take away. Epictetus once said, "I have lost it, but I have given it back." Instead of looking for happiness in things you can't control, like success or money, you can find real pleasure in growing as a person and being able to face obstacles with courage and drive. Seneca said that the key to happiness is learning to tell the difference between things you can control and things you can't. Imagine a player who is hurt and fears that it will end his career. Instead of giving up, he vows to come back stronger than ever, using hardship as a chance to fortify his body and mind. Taking on the task with toughness and resolve helps him not only get better from the hurt, but also become an even stronger and more tough player. Cicero once said that nothing is so bleak that it can't get better. Fortitude and resilience are important traits that will help you deal with any problem that comes your way. You can become a stronger, more resilient person who can handle any challenge that comes their way by learning to quickly get over your anger, having the mental toughness to face setbacks with determination, seeing problems as chances to get stronger, practicing self-discipline during hard times, and seeing the virtue of resilience as a source of inner strength. Seneca said that trouble is where strength is tested. The eighth is balance and moderation. You are in charge of your own personal orchestra in the big orchestra of life. You can find a calm and beautiful tune in this interesting show by following the scores of balance and moderation. Stoic philosophy has taught us many useful lessons about how to stay calm when things get tough. It's like tuning an instrument to find the right mix between your feelings and your mind. Thoughts and feelings that are out of control change the rhythm and make the stage a mess. So, it's important to learn how to tell the difference between what you think and what you feel. Take the case of getting unfair feedback at work as an example. You might feel angry or frustrated at first, but if you can get in touch with your reason, you will be able to look at the situation more clearly and come up with a better answer. Managing your emotions in a moderate way is like adjusting the beat in a song. Extreme emotions can make it easy to lose control in tough scenarios. However, balance helps you keep the right beat. For instance, if someone insults you on the street, you might want to hit them or insult them more right away. But balance tells you to take a moment to calm down, think about what you want to do, and then choose a better way to react, like avoiding the person who is bothering you or being kind. Skillfully avoiding emotional peaks that can make you angry is like being able to get through rough water. Extremes can be dangerous because they make us feel bad. The Stoics warn us about this. To give you an example, being too focused on success can make you cocky and insensitive to other people, while being too focused on loss can make you feel hopeless and sorry for yourself. On the other hand, sticking in the right middle ground keeps us balanced and clear-headed. Developing balance as a virtue to stay cool is like working out your inner strength and patience. Teaching us to control our feelings and stay strong in the middle is what on temperance is all about. For example, temperance helps us stay calm and find quiet answers to problems when we're upset or stressed out, instead of giving in to anger or impulsivity. As a Stoic, your life goal of finding inner harmony is like guiding the music of your life toward peace and happiness. Stoic philosophers advise us to look within ourselves for tranquility rather than outside factors. For example, we don't have to look for happiness in money or praise from other people. Instead, we can find it by practicing virtue and knowledge every day. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said that calmness is what guides the wise through the sea of feelings. As you work to find balance and modesty, keep in mind that every challenge is a chance to tune your emotional instrument and write the symphony of a full and peaceful life. 9 things that make you think about yourself and get to know yourself in a world full of steady requests and stimulation. How much time do you spend getting to know yourself? Have you taken some time to think about how you feel and what you do? Self-reflection and getting to know yourself are important steps on the path to personal growth. But how do you start this trip inside of yourself? The first place you need to go on this trip is yourself. You need to think about how you felt and what you did. Just what makes you mad, upset, or worried. Take a moment to name those feelings and figure out what makes them happen. Ask yourself this: do you get mad when someone talks over you? When things don't go as planned, do you get angry? When you recognize these things, they let you see into your inner world. Observing yourself is another very useful skill you can use. Write down how you feel when you are exposed to different things and events. What do you do when someone challenges you or criticizes you? What feelings and thoughts come up at those times? When you look at yourself clearly, you can find trends and places to start making changes. You need to work on becoming more self-aware. It helps you think about how you'll respond and decide what to do instead of acting on impulse. You can mentally prepare yourself and choose a cooler, more thoughtful reaction. For instance, if you know that certain situations make you angry. But don't stop there. Think about yourself to get to the bottom of your anger. Where do those angry or frustrated thoughts come from? Have you healed from past hurts? Anger is often only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to your mental health. Digging deeper can reveal life-changing truths. Remember what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said: don't get angry over things you can't control. A lot of the time, your anger comes from trying to control people or events that you can't. Self-knowledge helps you accept what you cannot change and put your attention on what you can, your own actions and attitudes. You have to look inside yourself and learn more about yourself before you can change. Think about your feelings and deeds. Pay attention to yourself. Become more self-aware, and use self-analysis to get to the bottom of your anger. When you try to get to know yourself and your true self, you start the path to a better, more real life. Gratitude and appreciation. In the vast field of life, where actions and emotions combine, developing gratitude and appreciation becomes an art form, a practice that not only makes your soul look better, but also gives your spirit strength. Let's start by talking about how gratitude can change your life. This is the part of your journey where you immerse yourself in the core of existence and use every word, action, and thought as a paintbrush to create your own painting. What is anger, if not a fire that burns everything in its way, or a wind that can't be stopped? How about if I told you there is a cure, a way to calm this inner storm? The key to your inner peace, my friend, is gratitude. Why don't you take a moment to appreciate the good things in your life instead of letting your anger take over? Every little thing is something to be thankful for, from the sun on your face to the warmth of a loved one's arms. But being thankful isn't just for the bad times. It's also for the little things that make your life beautiful every day. Little pleasures like the smell of coffee in the morning or a child's laughter that makes you laugh too are like lights in the dark. Developing gratitude for these little things is like watering a garden. Each act of gratitude feeds your soul and helps it grow into peace and happiness. So, when you immerse yourself in the ocean of thanks and thankfulness, you find peace. This peace doesn't come from getting more stuff, but from deeply realizing how rich you already are. According to Zeno of Citium, a Stoic philosopher, being thankful is the key to peaceful living. It's the practice of thanks and respect that will lead you to inner peace and happiness on your life's journey. So, dear friend, I encourage you to engage yourself in the art of gratitude and appreciation, and to welcome every moment and experience with an open and thankful heart. For on this big stage of life, you are the artist, and gratitude is the brush you use to paint the picture of your own happiness. There are pressures and challenges around every corner in life's complicated maze. Your will and drive are the direction that will lead you to peace and success. What steps can you take to improve these parts of your character? I will take you on a trip of self-discovery and personal growth here, and I will explain each point with real-life cases that will help you see the way. Getting stronger in your resolve to ignore outside stimuli is like making armor that guards you from the arrows of distraction and desire. Let's say you are working on a big job when you get a message on social media. You need to have a lot of willpower to fight the desire to open that app and stay on task. Each small gain over confusion improves your will, allowing you to design your own future. To find inner peace, you have to be determined. This is like taming the rough waves of the thought sea. Remember that you have the ability to find peace, even when things are going badly for yourself, when you're going through a rough patch. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, you don't have to give up. Instead, you can listen to an inspiring podcast or just look around and think about the beautiful scenery. You can use every struggle as a chance to grow if you are determined. To use willpower to deal with anger is like trying to control a wild horse. If you want to avoid getting angry, you can train your mind to react with kindness and calm. For instance, if someone makes you angry during a fight, you can choose to stop, take a deep breath, and think about what you want to say. Remember what the wise Epictetus said: "True power lies in self-control." Every time you show self-control, you build your will and raise your spirit above mental storms. Remembering that you always have a choice is like finding a master key that opens the doors to your inner freedom. You have the power to choose how to react to everything going on around you at all times. For instance, if you experience a failure at work, you can choose to see it as a chance to learn and grow, rather than letting despair consume your entire self. You are getting closer to reaching your full potential with each choice you make. Pursuing steadiness of purpose as a Stoic virtue is like putting down the roots of an oak tree that stays put. It's important to be clear and determined about your goals and ideals, even when the storm is bad. You should also stay committed to pursuing them no matter what comes up. For example, if your goal is to be honest and have ethics in your life, stay true to those beliefs even when you want to change them. You become a light and a source of strength for yourself and others with every steady step forward. Your will and drive are your best friends in the art of living. With hard work and knowledge, you can develop these strong traits, and you will find the real strength that lies within you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "True power lies in self-control. With will, determination, and steadfastness of purpose, you can shape your destiny and reach the greatness that lies within you." Being aware of the present moment becomes a superpower that many people want, but few can master in the fast-paced world of life. How can we be truly present in the here and now? How can we develop the mindfulness that lets us enjoy each moment fully without being held back by the past or uncertain about the future? Mindfulness is the first step on the path to wholeness. It's not just sitting in the lotus position for hours, it's living each moment as if it were your last. Remember the wise old woman in the village who said, "Live each moment as if it were your last." That's mindfulness in action. You can be cooking, walking, or just breathing. When you give yourself fully to the present moment, you become one with it, freeing yourself from worries and other things that are bothering you. Anger is like a fire that burns both the person who feels it and the person who faces it. How many times have you said or done something you later felt bad about because you were angry and couldn't think straight? When you practice mindfulness, you learn to recognize the warning signs in your body, like a racing heart, clenched fists, and a tense jaw. These are your internal alarms telling you to stop, take a deep breath, and come back to the present before your anger takes over. Being aware of your body's signals is important for staying in the present moment. For example, if you feel a knot in your stomach during a meeting, you shouldn't ignore it or let it make you anxious. Instead, you should take a moment to recognize the feeling, explore it with interest, and figure out what it's trying to tell you. For example, it could be telling you that you need to set boundaries, or that something in your environment is making you feel uncomfortable. By being aware of these signals, you can act in a smarter and more focused way. A safe harbor in the middle of a storm is what focusing on the present does for you. When you get lost in the past or worried about the future, remember what Epictetus said. Meditation is not something you do, it is a place where you find yourself. Each breath in and out brings you back to the present, where peace and calmness reside. Finding inner peace through mindfulness is a journey of self-discovery and personal development. By cultivating present-moment awareness, you not only become more resilient in the face of life's challenges, but you also find an endless well of peace and serenity that is waiting to be discovered. Tolerance and understanding are important parts of getting along with others and growing as a person. They shape how you interact with others and make your life better. It's easy to fall into the trap of intolerance and close the doors to dialogue when someone has a different opinion than you. But you know what? Tolerance for different opinions lifts you above narrow-mindedness and lets you embrace the diversity that makes up our society. Imagine a debate where people have very different opinions. It could be about politics, religion, or even personal tastes like music or art. Instead of closing yourself off to understanding the other person's point of view, practice active understanding. Listen with empathy. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and try to figure out why they think the way they do. This will not only help you understand them better, but it will also help build an environment of mutual respect. Variety is what makes life so interesting. Instead of seeing it as a threat, see it as a treasure trove of new experiences and points of view. Imagine a garden where all the flowers are the same color and type. It would be boring and lack beauty, wouldn't it? Diversity challenges, inspires, and enriches us in ways we could never imagine. But living together peacefully with differences isn't easy. You have to be willing to seek harmony through understanding and tolerance all the time. It's like tuning an instrument. It takes practice, patience, and dedication. But the reward is a melody of respect and understanding that lifts your spirit. And you know what? A person's greatness is measured by their ability to accept and understand opinions that are different from their own. That's where the true peace and harmony in the world lies. Everyone has their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences that shape their actions and opinions. By understanding this, you can learn to accept and understand others more, which will lead to a more peaceful and enjoyable life together. You have the power to make society more accepting and respectful. By learning to tolerate and understand different points of view and accept diversity, you help make the world a place where everyone can live in peace and mutual understanding. It is possible to learn how to live happily with disagreements. Let us then strive for unity through tolerance and understanding, always keeping in mind that the true beauty of humanity lies in its variety. There are many moving parts in life, but love and connection are like the invisible threads that hold our relationships together. Picture this tapestry as a masterpiece, and you are the artist. But how do you grow this delicate weave of love and connection in a world that seems to be always changing? Let me walk you through these key points with real-life examples that will light a fire in your heart and bring you closer to others. To truly love others, you must first love yourself. This isn't just a motivational saying. It's an important part of taking care of your emotional health. Ask yourself, how can I truly love others if I can't love myself first? Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Picture the critical part of yourself in the mirror. Send yourself love and compassion, compliment yourself, and recognize your worth. This simple but powerful act changes your inner state, getting you ready to share your love with others. Now let's talk about practicing emotional connection with your loved ones. It's not just about being physically present, but about being truly present in mind and heart. The next time you are with a friend or family member, let go of distractions and immerse yourself in the moment. Look them in the eye and listen with active attention. Ask how he or she is really feeling and share your own emotions in an authentic way. This genuine connection will strengthen the bond and nurture the love that unites you. Always remember that love is more powerful than anger. In moments of conflict or frustration, stop for a moment and reflect. Is anger the appropriate response, or is love the force that will truly transform the situation? Think of a situation in which you are tempted to react with anger. Now imagine what it would be like to approach it from a place of love and understanding. Perhaps a calm and compassionate conversation can resolve the conflict much more effectively than an angry outburst. The key to building a healthy community is building relationships based on mutual respect and empathy. When you treat others the way you want to be treated, you create an atmosphere of trust and acceptance where everyone feels valued and heard. Think about how your relationships would change if everyone did this. Seek unity through love and genuine connection. In a world full of division and discord, love is the bridge that can bring us all together. Look around you and find ways to be an agent of unity and compassion. It could be as simple as giving someone a hand or smiling at a stranger on the street. Every small act of love and connection makes the web of humanity stronger. By fostering love and connection in your life, you become the architect of your own happiness and a light for others, in the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. So go ahead and let love guide every step you take. To get through life, you need to accept two basic truths. Humility and acceptance are your best friends. Picture humility as a shield that protects you from your ego's attacks, and picture acceptance as a lighthouse that shows you the way to inner peace and personal growth. These two pillars are essential to your growth, and I will show you how important they are by giving you real-life examples that will touch your heart. Responsibility and self-reflection. In your constant journey through life, you encounter a path marked by two powerful guides: responsibility and self-reflection. These pillars, more than simple concepts, are the cornerstones that support your personal and emotional development. How do they guide you? I'll tell you. First, you must take responsibility for every step you take, every word you utter, and every thought you nurture. Imagine this scenario. You are late for an important meeting. What do? Do you blame the traffic, the rain? No. Stop for a moment and face the uncomfortable truth: your lack of planning. Acknowledging your responsibility empowers you. You become the architect of your destiny rather than a mere spectator. Self-reflection is your mirror to life. It invites you to take a deep look at yourself, to examine your actions and reactions with brutal honesty. Why did you get so angry when you were criticized at work? Was it really because of what they said, or because of your own insecurities? By reflecting on your emotional responses, you become more aware of yourself and your motivations. Anger, that fire that burns within you, can be tamed by the strength of your will. How? By recognizing the power of your choices. Face an irritating situation calmly and objectively. Respond instead of reacting impulsively. Decide not to let anger control you, but to let it control you. This not only pacifies your mind, but also strengthens your relationships and opens doors that anger would have closed. Past mistakes are wise teachers if you are willing to learn from them. You remember when you passed up an opportunity for fear of failure. Don't regret it. Analyze what happened. What did you learn? That fear paralyzes, but action moves you forward. Now, every mistake becomes a stepping stone in your ascent to excellence. Authenticity, that rare and precious jewel, lies at the heart of accountability and self-reflection. By being accountable for your actions, you align yourself with your deepest values. By reflecting on yourself, you discover your true essence. This process frees you from the chains of falsehood, allowing your inner light to shine brightly. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Your mind is like a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow beautiful flowers or weeds. Herein lies the essence of responsibility and self-reflection, in the transformative power of your choices. So go ahead, take charge of your life, look inward, and discover the greatness that lies within." Patience and tolerance. On life's journey, you will encounter challenges and obstacles that will test your mettle and patience. Stoic philosophy invites you to cultivate patience as a fundamental virtue. How do you do it? It's a matter of training and perspective. Imagine this scenario. You're stuck in a seemingly endless traffic jam. What can you do? Instead of giving in to frustration and impatience, use this time to practice tolerance. Accept the situation for what it is, recognizing that you can't control the traffic, but you can control your reaction to it. Take a deep breath and stay calm. You have the power to choose how you deal with this situation. The Stoics teach us that everything has its time and place. While it is natural to want things to happen on our own schedule, reality often has other plans. Remember that time you were waiting for an important email response. Instead of obsessing about updating your inbox every 5 minutes, trust that the response will come at the right time. Cultivating patience means learning to trust the process and accepting that some things just take time. So rest assured, things will come when they need to come. Uncertainty can be unnerving, but patience and tolerance will help you find peace of mind in the midst of the storm. Have you ever experienced anxiety waiting for the results of a medical test? Instead of letting worry consume you, practice patience. Recognize that while you can't change the outcome, you can control your attitude toward it. Keep an open mind and be prepared to accept any result with serenity. You have the power to find calm in the midst of uncertainty. As an ancient wisdom says, patience is the key that opens all the doors of time. This phrase reminds us that by being patient, we can open ourselves to the possibilities that time offers us. So the next time you find yourself in a difficult situation, remember to cultivate patience, practice tolerance, and seek calm in the midst of the storm. That is the path to true inner strength, freedom, and detachment. In the vast arena of daily life, you are the protagonist who shapes your existence. How can you cultivate these virtues to achieve serenity and inner fulfillment? Dive into ancient wisdom and discover how to transform anger into peace, how to free yourself from the burden of expectations, and how to find true freedom in detachment. Imagine this scene. You are at a social gathering, enjoying the company of friends and acquaintances. Suddenly, you hear whispering behind your back and notice furtive glances that make you suspect someone is criticizing you. Your first reaction may be an explosion of anger, a storm of negative thoughts and emotions. But stop for a moment and remember, you have the power to choose your response. Cultivating your inner freedom is like directing your own play on a stage full of social interactions. You can choose how you react to circumstances without letting anger control you. Like an actor without a script, instead of being a slave to anger, you can be its master, directing your emotions with wisdom and compassion. Emotional detachment is the backdrop against which this social scene unfolds. Imagine you are in a situation where someone is criticizing you behind your back, and expectations and desires are intertwined like knots in your mind. But what happens when those criticisms don't affect your self-esteem and inner peace of mind? This is where detachment plays a crucial role. Practicing detachment doesn't mean giving up on relationships or emotions, but rather freeing yourself from attachment to outcomes. It's like holding a feather in the palm of your hand. You can appreciate its beauty and lightness, but you are willing to let it fly away when the time comes. Thus, by letting go of attachment to expectations and desires, you find a freedom that transcends the fluctuations of the outside world. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one thing. Some things are under our control, some things are not." This quote encapsulates the essence of inner freedom. You cannot control external circumstances, but you can control your response to them. This is the key to finding peace in the midst of the storm, calm in the midst of chaos. Seeking inner peace through freedom and detachment is like finding an oasis in the middle of the desert. You may be tempted to cling to the comforts and securities of the material world, but remember that true peace resides within. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel how freedom and detachment envelop you like a gentle breeze, dissipating the clouds of anger and resentment. Freedom and detachment are the keys that open the doors to inner peace. Cultivate your freedom from being a slave to anger. Practice detachment to free yourself from emotional reactivity. And remember that you always have the power to choose your response to any situation. Let go of attachment to expectations and desires, and you will find the true freedom that resides within you. Wisdom and personal growth on your path to self-realization are like the two pillars that support your inner structure. It is in constant learning that you find the seeds of wisdom, nourishing your mind and soul with the vital nourishment you need to flourish. There is no final destination on the path of wisdom, but a continuous journey of discovery and expansion. You must always be open to new perspectives, even when you think you have reached a level of understanding. As the Chinese proverb says, "He who asks is ignorant for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask will remain ignorant for a lifetime." Imagine that you are exploring a vast garden of knowledge, where each plant is a new lesson that teaches you something valuable about yourself and the world around you. What kind of flower would be your next lesson? What colors, aromas, and textures would you discover in it? On this journey, every experience, even those that may initially seem adverse, has the potential to be your teacher. Even anger, that powerful and often misunderstood emotion, can reveal profound lessons if you allow yourself to examine it with honesty and understanding. As the Japanese proverb says, "If you are angry, count to 10. If you are very angry, count to 100. Anger can teach you about your limits, your values, and your unmet needs. What is anger telling you right now? How can you transform it into an opportunity to grow? Emotional challenges are like stones in your path, seemingly obstacles that keep you from moving forward, but are actually opportunities in disguise to strengthen you. Like water carving rock over time, your emotional challenges shape and polish your character, revealing your true inner strength. As an ancient African proverb says, "The scar is the flower that springs from the wound." Think of a time when you faced an emotional difficulty. How did that experience help you grow? What new aspects of yourself did you discover in the process? Wisdom is your compass on the journey to inner peace. It is the lighthouse that guides you through the choppy waters of life, showing you the way to calm and serenity in times of confusion or turbulence. You can turn to wisdom to find clarity and balance. As an Arabic proverb says, "Knowledge gives you power, but wisdom gives you authority." How can you apply this wisdom to your own life? Your quest for wisdom and growth is an exciting journey towards self-discovery and personal fulfillment. Through constant learning, openness to new perspectives, reflection on your experiences, and embracing emotional challenges, you will find your way to lasting inner peace. Always remember that each step on this journey brings you closer to the fullest and wisest version of yourself. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, "Think before you explode," so I'll know who the victors are who have made it all the way through this valuable lesson. I can't wait to hear your stories of triumph, so subscribe and turn on the notification bell and comment to let YouTube know that these types of videos help people like you, so we can continue to create more similar videos in the future. I recommend the final 2 videos you'll see in the next adventure.